All right, so Riley, we've seen Daredevil. It's awesome. God,
Yay.
you're badass. Now, would it be correct to assume that you're doing your own stunts in this?
Yeah, so I'm doing as much as I'm allowed to do, which at times is a great deal, and at other times not so much. As the series progressed, I was kind of up to date with the training, and so I was able to do more than maybe in earlier scenes. But I'm quite lucky in this regard. I really enjoy all the physical aspects of making a film, and I'm luckily I'm quite good at picking up the moves. I can usually do because I have to learn them on the day. We normally don't have time to rehearse days before, so I'll normally try and pick up 6 to 10 moves at a time. We'll film that from a couple of different angles, and then we'll move on and stuff. And then of course I have my amazing stunt double, Chris Brewster, who will every now and again throw in a 360 double flip kick that I didn't even know people could do. So I don't do those ones.
Can you tell us a bit about the intense sequence in the hallway? Like, how was it to shoot that?
That was amazing.
How much training
So I did all
took
of
place
that.
before? How much training did you do before and then like leading up to that?
Yeah, I mean, I remember reading that in the script and having to kind of go through it very, very slowly and be like, wait, how is this going to work? What is this going to look like? It was a really a very magical day because it was it was one of the last days of the first. We block shot the first 2 episodes, 1 and 2 together with Phil Abraham was the director, and it was one of the last shoot days of that, and we had the whole day dedicated to it. The first half of the day was just the camera movement, just the camera going back and forth and making sure we got all the angles and where it's supposed to be. And it's very, very tricky because every single hit has to sell on camera. If one is missed, the whole shot doesn't work. I think we did 12 takes, and I think 3 of them were usable and 1 of them was fantastic. And we watched that back when it finally happened. Midway through one of them, Chris took a knock to the head, and we weren't sure he was going to continue. But it was wild because the way that we did it, I walk in and then I go in a door and I quickly hide, and he continues and he comes out, and then I run right down the back of the set and I come in and do a little bit, and then I'm out another way, and then he goes in and I come back out with the kid, and it was pretty spectacular.
I just love that it just keeps going. You're like, oh my god, this is so good. Yeah. And that's I think what the luxury of the time that we have. When you're doing a 13-hour movie almost. You know what I mean? You get to really take that time, not only just with the fights, but with everything. With the development of the suit, with the development of the characters, and the idea, and the back and forth, and the stress and of going, am I doing this? It's like that's the thing that I'm so moved by when I think about the hero's journey, and someone who decides to take on and be someone who says, I'm going to, vigilante justice is my calling. It's not something that just happens once. You don't go, okay, I'm a fireman, I'm a police officer. Like, you have to put that suit on every day. You know what I mean? At any point you can walk away, and the fact that this person keeps, gets back up and tries again and throws that punch again, you're just like, oh, yes, that's really exciting. And they're doing it, and like a police officer or fireman, like this is a normal person. Mm-hmm. There's no radioactive spider, bite or alien father or anything else to kind of like play with.
Iron suit or magic
hammer.
Iron
suit or magic hammer. There's nothing. There's none of those different things to kind of take you out. It's like, no, that sounded painful. Yeah. And the person looks like it was painful, and you're like, oh, that's good. And that to me makes it really, it's fantastical, it's comics, it's all that kind of stuff, but it makes it very real. And I think that's going to be, the difference. It's PG-16. We get to go there.
And is that sort of why, like your character had like that idea to? Oh, sorry, like tongue-tied here. How did that motivate your character to like choose to help Matt and to sort of like justify that you're like aiding this person who's doing like some great area justice? Right.
I know. I like that. That's our tagline. I mean, justice is blind, and and I think how we even imagine what that looks like. We have blinders on about how to get to these different things, and so. When you're really talking about helping here, in a lot of situations, it's a lot to get someone to even call 911, let alone jump in and try to protect somebody or or put themselves in danger for the sake of someone else. So I think, she has in her own background for what she does, she's used to being in emergency situations. She's used to going in and trying to help, but she's usually patching people back up. She's not patching them back up so they can go back out and get scrappy again. And so that's a really interesting thing because she believes in him and she believes in what he's doing, but it's definitely confronting and challenging for her to accept. But I think that's the amazing thing, and hopefully, especially as you go through the series, you'll see a lot of people confronted with what they think they know and how things should be, and then looking at the gritty, dark, not black and white, very gray reality that things won't always fit into the perfect box that you wanted to. So how do you continue to still fight for and stand in the position that you want to, which is being a hero? Well, that's why it makes them reluctant heroes, because it isn't easy and isn't perfect, but that's what makes them heroes, because they keep doing it, and I think that's what she graduated. Right now she does heroic things, but I think she's definitely moved by who he is as a person and recognizes in herself, like, could I be doing more? And that's I'm curious to see how people react to that, because I think it's a subliminal question, but I think it's a very real question that is presented with the show.
Rosario, you've done obviously a lot of independent films throughout your career.
Mm-hmm.
Even though this is obviously Marvel, but with the Netflix aspect to it, was there a sort of an independent feeling on set, kind of like we're taking all this time to really tell this story and not just rush it and really give you a lot of freedom as an actress?
I thought it was. I loved that. I loved that idea of the form, long story form of comics that we got to explore it and take our time. I really liked that. I think that to me plays to my strengths. So I think I do much more realistic kind of. I like to be very grounded, and so it was so fun for me to be showing up and just talking to other people, and they're like, Daredevil, here, just this idea of what they were thinking of, like it being and having all of that joy and fun, but knowing I was going and actually getting to do good work, like real connection, real drama, real comedy, real action, real but very real feeling, this idea of like, wow, what is that? That drives people to not take the easy route. Like who does that, and why does it look so scary? Why this hero is doing things that makes you cringe and feel uncomfortable, and this bad guy is actually someone who I sympathize with. Like it gets very confusing and gray, and I like that, because again, I not just independent film, but I do a lot of stuff in activism and awareness building and stuff, and that's the part that I always try to show people. It's very compelling. It's not. It would be so easy if evil looked like somebody in the corner with a mustache going like, it would be eradicated from our planet if it was so simple. And it's not. It's much more complex, and people. There's a lot of choices to be made all throughout, and I think that's going to be really fun for people. That's what you get to explore in a show like this, where it's not just fast action, just jump into the spandex, kill the bad guy, and have the nice big silhouette moment. It's like, no, there's stumbling and falls, and I'm sure the blooper reel is going to look amazing. And
Shirley, did you feel that way too?
fun.
That there was a lot of freedom for you as an actor on set to create this character?
Yeah, Marvel were incredibly generous and with and trusting with the character. They were very vocal about saying, like, we've chosen you and based on the work that you did in the auditions, but now take it and run with it and find your own way. And I think it was important because I think that you do, over the course of the 60 years 60 years plus that Daredevil has been in print, the character has changed a great deal. He's changed not just visually, but also the way he speaks and operates, over the time, and I think that the danger is to try and please everyone. I think you have to be you have to choose your specifics and find the consistencies in order to make him a real person, a fully rounded person, and so I couldn't be more pleased with how Marvel were accepting of me and trusting the character over to me. Yeah.
In the comic books, Claire Temple has ties to a lot of other Marvel characters, including Luke Cage. Mm-hmm. Is there any possibility we might be seeing you on some of the other Netflix series?
Mm-hmm. So I feel Marvel's calling. There's this weird buzzing that's happening in my ear. I don't know what it is. I that was actually one of the things that totally drew me to it. I love the fact that, when you're playing with Marvel, you're playing with the Marvel Universe, and that means anything could happen. And that's very exciting. And just the fact that I'm playing Claire Temple, night nurse, and you're getting that, you're already knowing something's happening, something's being tweaked, something's being played with, and so that's good. I like the question mark
Yeah.
that comes with
Do you
that
know who
little
Claire's house
enigma.
sitting for?
Yeah.
What?
Be the
Huh?
last
Do you
question.
know? Tell us.
No.
But do you know? Rosario, do you know who?
No, actually, I
Claire's
didn't think
house
about
sitting
it.
for?
No, I
They
hadn't
didn't tell
thought
you.
about it. No, they didn't tell me.
Okay, fair enough.
Okay.
I believe
All
it.
right.
You got a question?
You know, I take
we have
time
time.
now.
I'm on camera right now.
Yeah.
Exactly, that's what I'm saying.
A lot of this stuff was already answered, but I guess just kind of general. Like, if you had to choose one scene from any of the episodes you shot so far to like embody the show that you would tell people about, this is what the show's about, what would you choose?
Actually, if you won't mind, I'll step in here really quickly. There's a scene at the very end of 4 between you and I remember when I read that scene, it gave me goosebumps. I was like, there's a moment. You guys have seen?
We've seen up to 4.
Yeah, and so you'll know which moment I mean. But there's a little moment where you're in the garage, and just before and the lights go out, and you say you want to know his name, ask him yourself. And I just remember thinking, that's the kind of show I want to be in. That's the coolest. That's one of the coolest moments. It's so badass. You know what I mean?